Hi everybody, what's up? Um, this is my first time reviewing an episode of a TV show, a classic TV show. I decided to review the season 5 episode, The Boys Are Back in Town, because I watched the episode earlier, and I just felt like reviewing it, because, there were this episode interested me for a few reasons. I'm not going to explain why, but the most obvious reason is that the Powerpuff Girls fight the Rowdy Rough Boys once again. I'm going to be using this still image because, this image, to me, this image is pretty terrifying. So anyways, on to the episode. So the episode starts with the girls beating up every villain, and him notices this. And then, he sees that he pulls up some clips of episodes from the past, and he sees that the Powerpuff Girls are fighting the Rowdy Rough Boys. Well, it's assumed, anyway. So then, he brings the Rowdy Rough Boys back to life. And when the girls fight them, at first they're evenly matched, but when they try and kiss them, because it worked last time, it doesn't work. So no matter how hard they try, the boys just keep growing bigger and bigger. And then, eventually, they start beating the girls and defeating them. They use them for games like roller brawl, hockey. Rumble time, roller brawl, and ultimate fight. And at the end, the boys defeat the girls because they're thrashed, because they then have bruises, black eyes, and torn clothes. But then, after Bubbles is assaulted by a slug, Buttercup sees that Buttercup punches Butch in the tongue, and that causes him to shrink. Soon, the girls find out the boys' new weakness. And then after that, the boys get taken away, and him says that in time that they will defeat them. So that's pretty much the episode. Now on to what I liked. Now on to what I liked. For one, it's nice that the Rowdy Rough Boys returned. Yeah. It's just pretty cool seeing the girls fight their greatest rivals again. But then, look how huge they are compared to the girls. So, they use their powers, like Boomer, he uses, a baseball bat or something. And then Butch uses, green energy force fields. Now, those are pretty cool. It was pretty interesting to see the Powerpuff Girls completely defeated by the Rowdy Rough Boys, completely defeated. Although, they have been defeated by them before. In combat they have. But, yeah. I like their new updated haircuts. I like their, Boomer's, spiked ends, Butch's spiked up hair. I can't see Brick's, spiked mullet, but it's there. Okay, now that I've said about all the good stuff, let's get on to the stuff that I didn't like. Or what the girls should have done. For one, when the girls fight the boys, why can't they use their team maneuvers like Wing Plan R or Plan XQ? Why? Why can't they do that? What's stopping them from doing that? Another thing, when Bubbles is fighting Boomer, what's stopping her from going hardcore and using Sonic Scream? Why can't they do that? They should have done that. And another thing, when Blossom is pinned down by Brick, why doesn't Blossom use Ice Breath to freeze his drop of drool and then use laser eyes on him? Why can't they do any of that stuff? Is it because they were too scared, or they didn't have those abilities? We've seen them use those abilities before, so what's stopping them from using them on the Rowdy Rough Boys? Going back to what I said earlier, like a few seconds ago, why doesn't Bubbles go hardcore? Why doesn't Bubbles go hardcore on Boomer? You know, we've seen her go hardcore only once, so what's stopping her from doing it again? The same thing with Blossom, but I'm gonna go into depth on this one. Why can't they just use the powers that they used in Nothing Special? Just why? Why couldn't they do that? It would have been interesting. But for Blossom, why didn't she use her Ice Breath to freeze the drool? She could have gotten away then. And then, yeah. Like, why couldn't the girls use any of those powers like, especially Blossom, why couldn't she think of something like that? Just why? I mean, seriously. They've used those abilities before, so what? But whenever they fight the Rowdy Rough Boys, they don't use those abilities or powers. So why not? Comment down below. If you comment down below telling me why they didn't use those abilities. And then, hang on. And then for Buttercup, when she's fighting Butch, what's stopping her from using her abilities? The same thing that goes for Blossom and Bubbles. Why couldn't they just use Acrobat Attack like they did the first time? So, yeah, that's one of the stuff that I didn't like. Another thing, when they're in the parking garage and they're hiding, how can the boys not hear them even though they're talking very loud? That's what I don't understand. Like, what gives? And another thing, how did the boys know where they were if they were on top of a roof building and they didn't hear them? Well, okay, Buttercup screamed, but that really gave them away. But still, how do they know? Now, I've said all the flaws, but another thing, when the girls are fighting their respective counterparts, why don't they switch counterparts? Bubbles fights Butch, but Blossom fights Boomer, and Buttercup fights Brick. Why don't they switch counterparts? Why don't they switch, you know? Have them fight different Rowdy Roughs. You know, Blossom could fight Boomer, Buttercup can fight Brick. No, sorry, I already said that, sorry. But still, why don't they switch counterparts for once? Switch opponents for once, instead of always attacking the one that looks almost like them. The one that just looks like their counterparts, you know? Why don't they do that? It would be interesting to see. It would have been great, you know, and it would have made the episode a lot more interesting and fun. Or at least exciting. So, anyways, that's my review of this episode. I hope the Rowdy Rough Boys return and make an appearance in the reboot. But yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and if you want me to do more, yeah, I might review more of the classic Powerpuff episodes. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this. Comment down below and subscribe for more.